Hi, I'm going to quickly show you how to create a profit forecast model, which is from Meta, where we're able to visualize the individual points that you see in black, the forecast, which is here, and the change points that we can see in the data that shows us when we actually saw changes in our trend, which is also indicated in the red line here, and the dotted red lines are our change points. So I'm going to show you how to quickly do this from scratch in just a few minutes. So before we dive into coding, let's look at the brief. We want to create a forecast for 60 days. We want to find significant days in our data. We want to know what are the trends, and we want to know what's the seasonality. So now let's jump into our Jupyter Notebook, and we can find all this in our model. So now that we're in the Jupyter Notebook, fresh, let's import pandas, save it as a variable PD. Let's also import matplotlib.pyplot and save that as a variable PLT. Then we're going to bring in the profit library. If you haven't installed this, you're going to use the newer version, which is profit, not FB profit. And from that library, we're gonna bring in profit, which is going to bring us in a whole host of functions. And next, let's bring in our data. So we're going to save our data as DF, and we're going to bring it in with that pandas variable. We're going to read underscore CSV to bring in our user data. I'll put this in the descriptions below so you can actually see it and practice with it. And it's only two columns. It's going to be date and user. And let's run the head of that data so you can see it. Now we also want to check the data types, and we can use that data frame variable and info to look at the different types of variables. So we can see we need to change the date from an object to a date, and we can do that with to underscore date time from the pandas variable, and then we just run that, and that will change that to the date time. So also what we need to do here is we need to create a new data frame specifically for profit, which they have two columns that they want you to have. And those two columns are going to be the DS, DS for dates, and Y for your predicted value or your numerical value that you're going to forecast. So we just save TS again we create TS by saving the data frame variable. And then now let's create our two column names, and we can just save over the columns by using TS columns and then just passing in that list that gives us DS and Y. And now you can see we have the same data, but now we have it in the functionality that works in the profit model. Now let's plot this, because what I want to do is show you maybe parts in this graph where things are going to change. And we can do that just by setting the index in the date. And oops, we don't have date anymore. We need to change that to DS. So let me just change that. So you can see where it's set index, we need to change that to DS. And if we run that again, you can see we have that plot. Now from this plot, you can see in this section here, there was a change in trend, and definitely there was a change in trend down here. And I would even argue there's a change in trend at the end of our graph. So let me make a few more spaces here. And what we can do is let's start making the model. So we can call this model. We're going to bring in profit. And from that profit, what we want to do is we want to be able to say we want to fit the data. So once we instantiated the model by this, I'm adding fit to it. You could do this in two steps, but I'm just going to add our data datetime index to that, or data time series to that. And now we're going to make the future part of this where we're going to make the forecast. So we're going to use that same model, and then we're going to do make future data frame, and you can see that in my Telecent. And then I'm going to go out 60 days because this is in days. Then I'm going to create a forecast, and the forecast is going to use that model. So I'm saving the forecast variable. Then I'm going to have it predict this future variable that I created here. So I'm going to use future. And then now let's take a look at the head of that forecast so we can see all the things that we are able to get from the model. And it looks like I made a mistake somewhere. Oh, so there seems to be a NaN in the column. So let's go back up here and just say TS equals TS dot drop NA. And the reason is there's a space under. So I'll just show you that very quickly. So if we do TS, we probably should do this here. So if we do escape and B to create TS dot tail, we can see there's a NaN there. So now if we drop it here and we run that, you can see that that is gone. So, and let me just erase this. And then now we run this again, and now we get this data frame. We're able to get the information here, everything from the trend, the y hat, the upper y hat, and this is indicated by your confidence intervals. And then we have an additive model. I can go into this in detail if you like in another video, but let's continue with our model. So from now, we can actually plot our model. So let's do model.plot. And let's plot with the forecast, which is needed as the argument here. And if I run this, now you can see that model. And we can see that the model is kind of adhering pretty well to the data. We can see here there is a point where we are not picking up some of the outliers. But all in all, I think it's a decent forecast. Now, and if you get these double images, you can just put a semicolon behind it. Run that. And now let's add our change points. But before that, let me show you how we can see all the different components of your time series. So if I plot the components here, and I also need to add that as a function and add forecast. And if I run this, you can see we get the double again. So I'm going to put the colon behind that. And we can see the trend here. So we want to be able to show this trend in our imagery. And that's pretty easy to do. And the way we do that is we can bring in the visuals. Now, this is easier to do instead of visualizing this on top of each other. We can use from the profit.plot. We want to import, and let's add our change points. And then what we want to do is say, okay, let's get our figure. And our figure is going to be the model visual. So we're going to plot and forecast. And that will give us the model. Now, once that figure's there, I want to do the add change points. And the add change points here to plot, we need to add our figure. And then we need to get the current axis, so GCA function there. Then once we have that axis, we want to add back the model. And we want to add back the forecast. So this should work. So let's run it. and you can see what happens. We get all this information. We add a semicolon. And now what you see in this graph, we can see that the change was picked up here, which was 1 in, that looks like in December, and then we had some changes here. So you can actually just get these change points in a data frame by just using change points here and running this. And I don't think this is a function, so it's not a function. So if we shift and enter, you can get all the change points that are listed here. And so once we have all our change points, and then by default, you're going to get 25, but you can see the ones that we graphed here are the most important, these 6. So I would definitely focus on these, but listing all these may allow you to find some things in your data that you weren't able to understand previously. So you might want to cross-reference those days with significant events. We have our graph here with seasonality to an extent, because we can see Sunday and Saturday are the weekday, and these are our low days, and our stable days are Monday through Friday. However, if you're unable to see that and you have a larger data set, you can use that model variable, and we could just use seasonalities here. And if you run that, you can see you get a dictionary. We get weekly seasonality, and the period is at 7. We have an additive mode for your model, which is not exponential. So we've answered all the important questions from the brief. We have our forecast here. We have our trend, which we can see that kind of initiated towards the beginning of the year and has kept going. We know we have weekly seasonality, and we have all our important dates. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you.